Hi guys, recently I made this Rhubarb Gin by Diana Henry and it was so nice and refreshing to have outside on a hot day. Here I'm having it with some Mexican salsa, the recipe for which you'll find in the description below. You need to start off well in advance with some preferably pink rhubarb, though I could only get my hands on this green stuff and it worked just as well. Now cut off both ends with a sharp knife. Be careful to remove all the leaves because they are toxic. And you want about 1 kilogram of just the stalks. Then cut them into roughly 3cm lengths and place them all into a very large glass jar. This one was 2 litres and it was kind of a tight fit. Now take some castor sugar and pour about 400 grams of it into the jar with the rhubarb. It might look like now there's no room for gin, but just shake the jar really well to coat all the rhubarb pieces in sugar, and you'll see what happens when you set it aside on the worktop overnight. The next day you'll find that the rhubarb has macerated, which means it's been steeped in sugar, leached out all of its juices, which has dissolved the sugar and created a lot more space, and essentially kind of cooked down the rhubarb. Now go in with 800 millilitres of a decent gin. It doesn't have to be super expensive because you don't want to muddy the flavours of a good gin with rhubarb, but it really shouldn't be a cheap, gross one. Now clamp the lid on again and give it all a really good shake to help any undissolved sugar dissolve in the gin. Now place it back on the counter and let it steep for about 4 weeks to really infuse the gin with the rhubarb flavour. 4 patient weeks later, you'll find that not only the flavour has leached into the gin, but also all the colour as well. So now just take a couple of glasses and ladle the gin into them. You can sieve this if you want, but I don't think there's a need to really. Just make sure you give yourself a really generous amount of gin. The gin has been diluted with a lot of sugar and rhubarb juice, but it will still pack a punch. I think you should add piles of ice to each glass, especially if it's a hot day and you're drinking this outside. Then top both up with some good tonic water, not the slimline stuff. Stir it up and take it outside. So it's as easy as that. Thanks a million for watching, guys. I hope you liked this recipe and will give it a go yourself in moderation. And if you liked this video, be sure to hit the like and subscribe buttons below. Check me out on social media. You'll find all the links to my accounts in the description, as well as the link to my blog where you'll find this full recipe at www.rookiecook.org.